Why do we bruise more as we get older? As we get older, our skin gets thinner and our microvessels beneath the skin become weaker, which leads to easier bruising when you bump or scrape your skin. This is a normal part of aging, but we want to try to defer that as much as we possibly can, right? We don't want to prematurely age, and we certainly don't want to look it when we are older. Different growth factors are involved in both keeping the vessels healthy and the skin healthy, as well as during the regeneration process when there is an injury. Collagen and elastin production decrease as we get older. Growth hormones decrease, regenerative growth factors decrease. And so we need a way to actually stimulate those things naturally and help the body to do what it knows how to do. It just needs all the tools. What I like about Ozone is that it's a very gentle, natural way to help stimulate the body to produce VEGF, or vascular endothelial growth factor. Ozone can also help to stimulate fibroblasts, which are very important in regeneration and healing tissue. And so if we're applying ozonized products to our skin on a regular basis, then we get that extra help every day. I remember I had been using our Ozone soap for about 6 months continuously, and I brushed my elbow up against a thin piece of metal, and it was not, to me it was a brush, but it was enough to where I knew that I was going to be bleeding. I thought, okay, for sure, when I look, there's going to be blood. And when I looked to check, there wasn't any blood, it was just a scrape. But it was hard enough to where I was pretty sure it was going to be bleeding. The only thing that I could think of that was different was the Ozone soap. And before that, I had been noticing that my skin was a little bit more vulnerable than it had been. I'm pretty physically active. I work in the yard a lot. I work on my vehicles. I'm used to busting my knuckles up or working in the yard, getting cut on twigs, branches, whatever. Over time, I started seeing that I was actually starting to scar, which when I was younger, I would get cuts, and it was very, very rare for me to scar. So I started becoming a little more concerned. My body didn't have all the tools. And after this 6-month period when I was using the soap, I thought, okay, hey, I'm onto something here. This is really neat, because that didn't happen and I expected it to. I started talking to people in the clinic about the soap and my experience with it. And I had a gentleman that I was talking to one day. He was getting an IV, and he said, you know what's really strange? He has a lavender farm, and he's always, working outside with his hands, getting cuts, scratches from thorns and things like that, because they have flowers as well. He said, I haven't had any little scrapes, and the ones that do actually cut me, I put the salve on, and it seems to heal almost immediately. It's just a couple of days and everything's just gone, and I've never healed like this before, and I never really put it together until we were talking. And I started to talk to more and more people about this because I wanted to see if they were having similar results. What I found was that people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s were responding much faster, whereas people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s were slower to respond, but yet they were still seeing some benefit. And I started kind of putting that together with the amount of growth hormone that our pituitary produces. Up until the age of 45, we have about a normal production of growth hormone. And then it starts to decrease after 45, and every 10 years or so, it gets significantly reduced. So I thought, okay, we're still seeing some really good regeneration in 40s, 50s, and 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. They're going to need to be more diligent. And so the people that were coming in those age groups, I started talking to them about not only using the Ozone soap on a regular basis, but also, of course, the Ozone lotion, as well as the Ozone salve on their skin in more of a preventative, proactive type of way. And when people would actually listen to this and they would put it into practice, they too started noticing a difference. And we had a group of people that were on blood thinners. A lot of people are on blood thinners nowadays. And so they bruise extremely easily. That group, they noticed a difference, probably more so than the people who weren't on blood thinners, only because they were so used to having bruising that lasted a much longer time than normal. So long story short, Ozone soap on a regular basis. I shower with it every day, sometimes twice a day because I work out a lot. Ozone lotion on a regular basis, and then ozone salve. The ozone salve on cuts, scrapes, bruising, and it will definitely speed up the process quite a bit. When you get multiple forms of ozone products going all at one time, they work very harmoniously or with one another in a synergistic way to enhance the body and its regenerative capabilities. So just want to mention that, and hope you find it also to be very, very helpful. You can pick up all those products on our website at ozonecharge.com, and hope you have a great day. Take care.